I'm Turks. I'm your host, Jake. You're going to have a great show ahead for you guys. You know who's on the show a little later today? Only Noam Chomsky. Come on, man. It's going to be a sick show. I got WikiLeaks for you guys. Larry King interviewing Julian Assange gets befuddled. That's always fun. Okay? And I got Ken Buck doing crazy things. I got Sharon Angle doing crazy things. I got Rand Paul supporters doing crazy things. I'm going to come at all those guys in just a little bit for you guys. But, you know, first I decided to start the show with two things. One is a shout-out. I've decided that if you run into me, and I remember your name, and I remember to do it on the show, I will come on the show and give you a shout-out. So I ran into Jasper earlier today, a friend of ours, Jasper, / new friend / listens to the show, and met him today. So there you go, Jasper. A little shout-out for you, all right? And by the way, I understand that Brian Williams will also be adopting this from now on. They'll start NBC News this way. I'm Brian Williams, and this is a shout-out to Jasper, who I just ran into down the street. Okay, probably not. All right, anyways, all right, now we do have serious news, speaking of which. Okay, I shouldn't do that. It is serious. I think she's okay, that's why I'm not taking it overly seriously, but we should. Carly Fiorina apparently checked into a hospital. It seems she's okay, but it looks like she's got an infection. She, of course, had breast cancer, which is very, very serious, and seemed to have recovered from it. Apparently, as the infection results from her reconstructive surgery. Everybody wishes her well, of course. Barbara Boxer's campaign, everybody's campaign, John Cornyn, we do, everybody does. And we hope she's all right and makes it back out onto the campaign trail. We got more results of polls later in the program. And by the way, I tweeted this out earlier today. I am buzzing with excitement. No, I didn't think I was going to get that excited about this election. I mean, come on, midterm elections. How do you get excited over it? But all the races are so damn close, and I'm like, oh, come on. Who's going to win in Colorado? Who's going to win in Nevada? Who's going to win all over the country? Who's going to win in Wisconsin? Are you kidding me? So, oh, by the way, also, has there ever been a news program before this one where an anchor or host said, by the way? Okay, like, oh, by the way. So, we did call Turk out the vote over the weekend on Sunday, right? I called in from vacation, secretly watching the Steelers in the background, but nonetheless participating. Okay, combined three things that I love: the Steelers, Miami, because I was in Miami, looking over the ocean as well, and Russ Feingold. Anyways, we broke a record. It's not a big deal. TYT Army for the win. 48,000 calls on that day for Russ Feingold. So, not a big deal, but elbows raining all over Wisconsin. Okay, polls coming up later in the program. Very, very exciting stuff. I know JR loves the polls. JR, you got more polls than you know what to do with. Okay, that's coming up a little later. JR loves the polls. It's in a different bank. Hold on, let me try it. Okay, all right, I'm the worst. All right, let's get on with the important stuff. And let me reiterate, we really hope Fiorino's okay. I don't know why I even bring it up, because I don't have much to add to that. Nonetheless, we move forward. Rand Paul is about to give, well, is he giving a presentation? No, that's not what's happening, is it? There was a senatorial debate, that's what was happening. Reset. Okay. So Monday night, Rand Paul is going to go into a senatorial debate. There's a woman who's a volunteer for Move On, Lauren Vale. She's waiting for him, okay? And she's been at other events before. She's got a blonde wig on, and she's going to run up to him with a sign and try to take a picture. The sign says, Republic Corps, Employee of the Month. And she's, of course, alleging that he's a stooge for special interests, which I think is a very, very fair allegation. Now, he would say he's a principled libertarian, but as it turns out, of course, all of his positions wind up helping the Wall Street bankers he claims that he is very concerned about, and the mining industry in Kentucky, and people that are the wealthiest people in the country and the largest corporations. They all wind up benefiting from Rand Paul's libertarian positions. So she's going to go ahead and try to do that. Now, apparently she's been at other events before, and Rand Paul's supporters have seen her at other events before, according to her. And so they're going to try to prevent that in some way, and then it gets ugly. So we've got video of it. Let's show it to you, and then we'll tell you more about the controversy. So there you see Rand Paul, of course. She's trying to reach him. She goes around the car, finally gets there, and then that's up.
Get the cops! Get the cops! Get the police! Get the police! Get the police! No! Come on! Get the police!
Yeah. So, well, they tackled her, obviously, which they have absolutely no right to do, to say the least. And then they stomped on her head. So, now, here have been a number of excuses that they have thrown out there, number one. They said, stomp on her head? No. They stomped on her neck. That was excuse number one. I saw that in 3 different conservative places. So that's your excuse. That's unbelievable, right? Number two, this woman, she's been at other events. She's trying to agitate. Agitate what? She has a sign. She's trying to agitate a picture, okay? So, and then they're saying, oh, get the cops, get the cops. Yeah, get the cops to arrest you guys for slamming her on the ground and then stomping on her neck/head. Excuse number 3 was, oh, you don't know if this guy even supports Rand Paul. Really? Well, come to find out, his name is Tim Prophet, and there's a certain picture. You want to show that picture, everybody? Yeah, that would be Tim Prophet right there with Rand Paul. Not only does he support him, he is the campaign coordinator in Bourbon County for Rand Paul. And in fact, they took out an ad, Rand Paul's campaign did, saying in Bourbon County, hey, you know what? Tim Prophet is supporting us. Now, that was, of course, before he stomped on her neck/head. Now, so there goes that excuse. Now, what does Tim Prophet say? He says, okay, look, it was me, my bad, okay? But the video camera was tricky, and it was all in the way that the camera was shot. I do admit, though, to placing my foot firmly on her face. Well, okay, well, then that does it then. They were all clear. Absurd, right? Now, he says, oh, by the way, his second excuse is, the police should have handled the matter better. What, they should have arrested you quicker? How would the police have helped you? You're not allowed to throw people on the ground and smash their heads. What does she do? She's a 23-year-old woman. Okay, now, there's 2 other things here. If I thought, look, maybe this thing got out of hand, that's terrible, and of course they're going to go ahead and detain him, and then they're going to look at what kind of charges need to be filed. That's totally unacceptable, and that'll follow its course. And I thought, man, these, the passions are heating up. This is too much. It's ridiculous. They got to try to make sure that this is contained. But, can you blame Rand Paul's campaign at all? I mean, he can't control everybody there. And that's still a fair point, right? But it turns out, according to her, she's now talked to the press, and she says that she was actually at 5 different events. And here, let me give you some quotes of hers. She said, Rand Paul's car arrived, they identified me and my partner Alex, who was with me. They surrounded me, referring to about 5 different people that you saw on that video, okay? And she says there was 5 of them. They motioned to each other and got behind me. My partner Alex heard them say, we are here to do crowd control. We might have to take someone out. Okay, now wait a minute. But that's coordinated. And that's much, much worse. That's not, hey, I got worked up. That's, I saw her at an event before, and here she is again. Let's take this obviously tiny 23-year-old woman and pound her into the pavement. Well, you got to get control over that. I mean, that's crazy, right? Now, to be fair, Rand Paul, now that Tim Prophet has been identified, has released him and is now, of course, not part of the campaign anymore in any way, shape, or form. And they say he's been banned from other campaign events. All right, well, look, I mean, we're making progress, right? But it's not exactly what I would call exculpatory. Look, what he did and what those guys did around there is outrageous, and there should be criminal charges. Rand Paul's culpability on this, man, you got to get control of your staff and your volunteers better than that. And you got to come out with a stronger statement saying this, how unacceptable this is. His statement we'll share with you in a second is okay, right? But then, look, third of all, we got Republicans all across the country now. That is becoming a pattern, right? Remember what they did with the reporter that was trying to ask Miller questions in Alaska. And they roughed him up, they handcuffed him and detained him, and they said, oh, we're making a private arrest. And when the cops showed up, he said, private arrest of what? No, you're not allowed to arrest this guy, let him go. So, you know, and then if you remember in earlier campaigns, George Allen's campaign had roughed up Mike Stark, another activist who was going to ask, and reporter at that event, was going to ask a question of George Allen, and they threw him to the ground, etc. Now, look, it's beginning to be a pattern. So, Republicans, do yourself a favor, talk to your staff, talk to your volunteers, and make absolutely clear that there should be nothing physical and no violence whatsoever. I didn't think you had to make that clear, but apparently you do because it's happening over and over again. So now let's go to Rand Paul's, statement on this matter, and let's see if, it's satisfactory. Clip number 6.
Let's deal with the scuffle right off the top. What was your reaction that, folks who were wearing Rand Paul T-shirts and hats treated this woman this way?
Well, we want everybody to be civil. We want this issue, the campaign, to be about issues. I will tell you that when we arrived, there was enormous passion on both sides. It really was something where you walk into a daze of lights flashing, people yelling and screaming, bumping up. And there was a bit of a crowd control problem. And I don't want anybody, though, to be involved in things that aren't civil. I think this should always be about the issues. And it was an unusual situation to have so many people so passionate on both sides, jockeying back and forth, and it wasn't something that I liked or anybody liked about that situation. So I hope in the future it's going to be better.
Yeah, well, hopefully everybody out there will listen to that. And as you rightly point out, there's been a lot of tensions out there and a lot of excitement and a lot of passion, sometimes leading to things that we wish were not happening out there.
You know what? That's my third time looking at that, and it becomes more and more weak sauce every time. I mean, he says, oh, there was lights flashing. There was crowd control problems. No. There was no crowd control problems. That woman wasn't causing a problem. The problem was your volunteers who threw her to the ground and gently laid their boot on her neck / head, okay? / not so gently at all, right? So you're minimizing what happened. And then the part that got me at the end was when he said, well, both sides were jockeying back and forth. No. Both sides were not jockeying back and forth. One side got smashed in the head. The other side didn't get anything, okay? And then now the third, what are we on, the 8th, the 12th, the 18th excuse is, oh, did you know, though, that a Conway supporter at the same rally stepped on a Rand Paul supporter's foot? I mean, you kidding me? Okay, he scuffed up her sneakers, and they were new. I don't know about that part. Okay, come on now. You know why they do that? They throw that out there so they can say jockeying on both sides. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Everybody's guilty. Let's just move on. Okay. I'm telling you, in the beginning of the story, I was partial to saying, what can Rand Paul do about it? But the more I see his explanation, the more I see how connected they were, the more I see how they planned it out, well, I think maybe he could have done something about it. And his answers at the end there were not very good at all. Later, a campaign staffer said the event was incredibly unfortunate. That it was. All right, there we finally have agreement. Okay, now we go from Rand Paul to Sharon Angle. Oh, this one cracks me up, man. So Sharon Angle's at an event at a Microsoft licensing office, and somebody asked her a question about avoiding the media. And she says, "What are you talking about?" She has this quote. She says, "Your premise is untrue. It's an untrue assumption that I've been running away from the media. That is a Harry Reid and a media perception. I don't run from the media." Well, luckily she was able to prove her case after the event because her staffers told reporters that she will be meeting with the press outside. In fact, they did a whole setup like this. She was going to come up, step up, and she was going to speak. And then she ran out the side of the building. And then they came back and said, "Ha ha, she ran away already. La 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 la." I'm not sure they made that exact face, But they said, ha ha, we ran away from you. No, but wait a minute. She just said that she doesn't run away from the media. And then you're bragging about how she ran away from the media. And you did this whole decoy and tricked the press into thinking they were going to get their questions answered. But of course she's not going to answer your questions. She's only running for the United States Senate. Embarrassing. Okay, if that weren't embarrassing enough, Sharon Angle has another theory. See, she's out in cuckoo land, man. Like, see, because her new theory is that Harry Reid's going to steal the election. Of course. Guess who they cite as, like, Acorn. You know that Acorn doesn't exist anymore? Wiped off the face of the earth, thanks to the Republicans. Hey, Acorn-like, conspiracies, and he's going to talk to the Secretary of State. This is coming from our official campaign. And they said, wait a minute, do you have any evidence of this? That Harry Reid's going to steal the election? That's a big, big charge. I'll tell you, that'd be a huge national story. So do you have one shred of evidence of it? Oh, reporters are over there. And she runs off to the side. Well, you can't charge something like that and then not talk to anybody about it and not provide any evidence whatsoever. Acorn-like activities. And, of course, they sent out an email. They say, we need to raise $80,000 right now to make sure we could counter Harry Corn's Acorn-like maneuvers. I can see Harry Reid throughout Vegas now. Dun 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 dun. There's no effort to steal the election. Look, you have to have evidence. There's no evidence. You're making it up. My guess is they're making it up to raise more money, right? But that's not just something you make up as a person running for United States Senate. It's not a light charge. It's a heavy charge. Ridiculous. Okay, now, if you thought all of that was ridiculous regarding Sharon Angle, wait till you get a load of her ads. Okay. Do I have something for that? I think I have this. I can't find it. The storm is coming. Okay. Anyway, so Sharon Angle is going to run some new ads. They're very classy. Let's check them out.
Angle, and I approve this message.
Harry Reid voted to give special tax breaks to illegal aliens. And Harry Reid voted to give Social Security benefits to illegals, even for the time they were here illegally. And now Harry Reid is fighting for a program that would give preferred college tuition rates to none other than illegal aliens, using your money to pay for it, leading to a simple question. What does Harry Reid have against you?
Leading to a simple question, can I see some white folks in the ads? Other than the ones who are like, oh, my job is being taken away? By those people furtively sneaking around, looking particularly dark. Okay. But it must be just one slip up. I'm sure that it's going to get addressed in the next ad, and we won't be able to tell whose race is who. All right, let's check it out.
I'm Sharon Angle, and I approve this message.
Waves of illegal aliens streaming across our border, joining violent gangs, forcing families to live in fear. And what's Harry Reid doing about it? Voting to give illegal aliens Social Security benefits, tax breaks, and college tuition. Voting against declaring English our national language twice. And even siding with Obama and the President of Mexico to block Arizona's tough new immigration law. Harry Reid, it's clear whose side he's on, and it's not yours.
White people. Oh, did we throw that in there? I'm sorry. Every time they showed the illegal immigrants, they showed, as Bush would say back in the day, people who are brown-skinned, right? And I love the headgear that they associated with illegal aliens. And then every time they showed, English as a language, they show a nice young white girl like, oh, if only I could just speak English, but they won't let me. Right? And then the concerned family, oh, they're super white. They're like, oh, we are so concerned. A little over the top, you think, those ads? Who do they mean when they say, not concerned about you? No, I'm sure all citizens, I'm sure, right? Listen, they do the ad, you decide. By the way, there was apparently a similar law introduced in a city in Florida. We didn't get to the story at the end of last week, right? And The guy says, "Oh, I don't want any of that racialist nonsense." Okay, and this is going to be different from Arizona. We're definitely not going to pick out Latinos. It's just Canadians and Europeans have waivers. So if you just present a passport or whatever, we're going to assume you're legal. But everybody else, we're going to assume you're illegal. Oh, by the way, we're also exempt 4 other Asian nations. Well, they said, wait a minute, that's crazy. You can't. That means if you're visiting from Canada, you're assumed to be legal. If you're visiting from Mexico, you're assumed to be illegal. He's like, yeah, but we get a lot of Canadian tourists. Oh, I see. Okay, well, that makes it all right. My bad. I didn't think about that. So, and by the way, it's Florida, right? Now, I know it's more southern Florida that has this issue, but all of Florida has visiting tourists from Latin America, from what I understand. I just came from Florida. I believe I saw a lot of them, okay? So if you're visiting from Peru or Venezuela, sketchy. Not really Canada or Europe. Okay. But why are we charging things of racialism? Yeah, you know, these libs always with the blah, blah, blah with the racism nonsense. All right. All right, when we come back, more Republican nonsense. This time, Ken Buck's at it. Boy, did he buck up on this one. I'm going to save that one. All right, come back.
I got a sweet tooth. This one you're going to need a root canal. I love sugar. This one for all the nice, clean, decent women. Lay it on me, girl. Pay close attention. She put that sugar on my tongue. She's gonna.
All right, back on TYT. By the way, I spoke at a massive Turkish media event today. In Turkey.
You did? In Turkey?
Yeah. Wonders of modern technology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, out of a studio here. Mm-hmm. They had my big fat head on a giant screen. Mm-hmm. I was like, welcome.
How many people were watching you? Do you know?
Not a big deal, 1,500 people in
That's
the
great.
audience.
Wow.
By the way, I didn't know that till afterwards. So I was like, oh, thank God I didn't know that.
You know,
I would have gotten a little nervous.
You know where I wish I was today?
Uh-huh.
The Women's Conference in Long Beach.
Oh.
Where Michelle Obama was speaking today. Uh-huh. And I always want to go, like just to go and feel like empowered. Uh-huh. But I never end up doing it.
Yeah,
I gotta do it next year.
Jared's not buying. Okay. No, go for it. Go for it. It should be fun.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to do speeches and blah, 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 blah.
No, but I love it. Like, I want to go and like I said, I want to feel empowered.
Whereas my speech today was not blah, 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 blah. Okay.
What was your speech about?
I got them fired up, man.
Uh-huh.
I said the Young Turks are coming. Mm-hmm. They're coming.
You talked about our show?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because I'm an expert in the field. You don't know that? Mm-hmm. Okay, and I told them the story. You know what? Save it for the post-game.
Okay.
Okay, the story of my legendary great-grandfather. You know that story, right?
I think so.
Okay. All right. It's coming. It's coming. Check it out in the post-game.
All right. A woman from the U.S. is facing a ton of criticism in England because of the fact that she is paying drug addicts $300 to get sterilized.
Disaster.
Yes. We have a video. It's an ABC News report that explains this in greater detail. We'll talk about it after we watch the video.
Go.
People, of course, in history who have the honor of being the first to do something. For example, of course, Neil Armstrong was the first person to walk on the moon.
Well, now a British man has the honor of being the first man in England to have been paid to get a vasectomy. The BBC's Tom Simmons
Look at the dude.
explains.
Look at the dude.
In North London, a middle-aged American woman walks the streets looking for volunteers.
We offer drug addicts and alcoholics cash incentive of £200 if they'll use long-term birth control.
And by that, Barbara Harris has been telling drugs workers and addicts in Britain she means sterilisation for women, a vasectomy for men. It's cash in return for a life without children.
I got very angry about the damage that these drugs do to these children. Typically, I just say one thing to my critics: if you truly believe that these women have a right to continue to have children, then step up, get in line, and adopt the next one born. I mean, to me, it's that simple.
In the United States, her controversial charity has already paid 300 addicts and alcoholics. Now, after touring addict support groups in London and Scotland and not always having her ideas well received, Barbara Harris has found her first customer.
Nervous, but keen to get it over and done with.
John, a long-term drug addict who's asked not to be named, is having a vasectomy. All goes well, and he receives £200.
It was something that I'd been thinking about for a long time, and something that I'd already sort of made my mind up what I wanted to do, but just hadn't got around to it. I'm going to spend it on overdue rent and a bit of shopping.
But the project has its critics in Britain.
I don't think at all that there is a place for Project Prevention in the UK. It exploits very vulnerable people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol at probably the lowest point in their lives.
I ain't used to shoot up, but
Barbara Harris has been called a Nazi who offers bribes for babies' lives, but she insists she won't stop. Tom Simons, BBC News.
Gee, that kind of practice.
All right. First, I love the anchor's face in the beginning. Like,
Right.
vasectomy.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's not buying it.
Right. He's not interested in sterilization.
Okay. Okay. So watch. Seriously, as she's talking, he's gonna get a.
Well, now a British man has the honor of being the first man in England to have been paid to get a vasectomy. The BBC's Tom.
Oh no, he did. Okay, so that's fun for everybody.
Right.
Number two, I hated her point about, well, if you disagree with me, then you got to adopt a crack baby. It's that simple. Okay.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know.
But wait a minute. I can't have an opinion on this without having to adopt a baby?
Right.
So look, I don't quite agree. Adopt a baby. Wait a minute. Now, why do I have to? Shoot. Like, I get a sense that if I got into a debate with her on anything,
Yeah.
like I got to adopt a crack baby,
Right.
one way or another.
Right. Now, look, I think her heart is in the right place, okay? I don't think she's doing this to be, as some people would call, a Nazi, right, or a baby killer. I don't think that she has bad intentions. However, you can't offer people who are addicted to drugs money in return for sterilization. That doesn't make any sense. They're in a vulnerable place. They're not thinking straight. They're not in the right place to make a decision like that.
That's the best point, yes. You know, they're at a low point, you catch them at their worst possible, and then you assume that they can't get better.
Right.
Like, if they're addicted now, they're always going to be addicted, so we might as well make sure they can't have kids. And look, the other thing is, he saw I'm going to use this money for rent and shopping. No, he's not. He's going to use it for drugs.
Right.
Okay, because he's addicted. And she knows that they're desperate for money for drugs.
Yes. Okay. Let me just add something to that. If you really want to help these people, if you really want to provide free sterilization to those who wish to seek it, then don't incentivize it by giving them money. Then say, look, I run a nonprofit organization. This is the service that I offer. If you're interested in it, let's do it. But don't give them money for it. Yeah. Because she knows that if you're addicted to drugs and you're in that state of mind, you'll do anything for that money.
Yeah, I think that's really problematic. And so I'm going to have to adopt a crack baby since I disagree with her. But you know, look, she is not a baby killer because those babies don't exist.
Right.
So don't get crazy, right? But at the same time, and I know what she's kids that are born already addicted to drugs, that's a massive problem. And I understand why she wants to address that problem. But this is not the right way to do it, okay? And because then it really is problematic because you're making a judgment call on whether certain people can have kids or should have kids or shouldn't have kids. And as some people rightly complain, they're like, well, what's next? Well, if you're poor, you're a single mother, you know, or you have a sexually transmitted disease, maybe you could pass that on to the kid. You know, the kid's not going to have as good a chance. Here, I'll give you money to get sterilized. No, can't have it. No way. I'm totally against it. And I will not adopt anyone based on what she says. Not that there's anything wrong with that. She actually adopted 4, which is great. On that, God bless her heart.
I don't know, man. I don't think she should be getting all this flack that she is. I mean, okay. What else do they get money from doing and getting from, in some cases? I mean, I don't know. They're adults. They can make decisions for themselves. Yeah, they're on drugs and they're adults, but they're still making decisions for themselves. I don't see it as that big of a deal. I don't think it should be a policy. But what, is she getting busted for this?
No, let me ask you this, okay? She's not getting busted. She's allowed to do it, right? If somebody was like, hey, you know what? I'm in the pinky collection business, okay? I'm offering drug addicts $1,000 for their pinkies. They're adults. They can make that decision, okay? And they can, but they're in a desperate place, and they want those drugs real bad. You can go collect your 100 pinkies, but is it right?
And also, when you're under the influence of drugs, that really alters your judgment. That's like saying, yeah, I drank alcohol, but I can decide whether or not to crash into that wall. You can't. You're
so does that mean we don't arrest them when they do it? I mean, they're still doing something detrimental to themselves, and now detrimental to a new person in the world, and they're screwed up. And then it doesn't help. I mean, just letting it go doesn't help either. I mean, like I said, I understand there's issues with the way she's doing it because I see all those points. But when it comes to like the the examples of a single parent or this type of person or a poor person, they're not on drugs. They're still straightforward in thinking. They're not going to go, oh, well, since I'm poor, I've all of a sudden lost my mind and I'm going to go ahead and have a vasectomy to get $500 and never have a kid again. And if they do, the world's not over. They just can't have any kids anymore. Some people are born and are find out when they're 24 years old, I can't have a kid. The world's not over. You just can't have a kid.
No, I know the world's not over, but no way. I'm drawing the line, man. Because then we get into trying to decide who should and who shouldn't have kids, okay? Don't make me break out Beethoven's story.
Those people decided. They decided. Nobody's making these people do anything.
No, but you're incentivizing them in a way that I don't find particularly productive, okay? I'm not saying I'm outlawing it. I'm just saying I don't agree, okay? And I strongly disagree.
Understood. 200 more pounds worth of drugs that guy's going to get, we're assuming. I agree. But, we're still assuming. 200 pounds more worth of drugs that guy's going to get. Or a lifetime of somebody whose life is screwed up, and maybe someone else's life is screwed up, and just continuing this type of thing. I'm like I said, this probably sounds like I'm way, but I see the point, is all I'm saying. I'm not sure of the right answer.
Look, that's why I'm saying her intentions are good. I don't think she's coming from a bad place. However, it's a bad idea to incentivize it. It's a bad idea to offer these people who are addicted to drugs money in order to make a life-changing decision. If she wants to do this without giving them the $300, offer this service, then okay, I'm all for it, because then it's something that they do want to do. They're not just doing it for the $300. Why would they want to do it?
Well, then why would they want to do it then? What's the
Well,
incentive
that
then?
guy said in the video, for example, I was meant to do it anyway, and so I'll take the 200 pounds to do it.
What's kept him from doing it the past 5 years? He's been thinking about doing it.
Well, it costs him money. I mean, that's part of it.
I mean, it's never going to happen. If you're already addicted to drugs, you're not going to go, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to now not use this money on the drugs that I really need, my brain and body needs. I'm going to get a vasectomy instead. I don't know. It's never going to happen. I don't know. This sounds horrible. I definitely don't think I'm necessarily on the right side of this, but I mean, they can't have a kid anymore. Okay. I don't know. Were they planning on having kids anyway? Were they planning on having a big full household? I don't know.
The thing is, you don't know where a drug addict's life is going to lead after they rehabilitate themselves, after they come clean, after they're not doing drugs anymore. They can completely change their lives around, and they can decide that they want to have a family. And,
but look, by all accounts, George W. Bush was an alcoholic. So he was addicted to alcohol. He was, right? And by other accounts, many other things, right? So he couldn't turn his life around. Would have been great if in the middle of one of his drunken sprees in Texas, he was like, yeah, I need more money. Yeah, get me a vasectomy. That would have been funny, but but probably would have been a disastrous idea on his part.
Right.
For him. Uh-oh, Napier.
It's too bad his dad, H.W. Bush, didn't have a vasectomy earlier on.
Oh, zinger! He just dropped a Napier bomb on you. I love the smell of Napier in the morning. That sounds wrong. But I'm using movie references. Think about it, Andrew. He's also a director. Real director.
Oh, even Dave is going to chime in. Is he?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, don't be crazy. I
got all excited.
Here's my guess as to Dave's response to this. Let them get one if they want it. Don't get one if they don't want it. Okay, which would be kind of along JR's lines. All right, what's next?
We have designer vaginas.
Of course. We don't personally have them. We have a story about them. Okay.
All right. No, but in all seriousness, apparently...
in all seriousness, about designer vaginas, okay?
Apparently, 3% of all plastic surgery done in the Czech Republic is plastic surgery on the vagina.
That random fact brought to you by the Young Turks. I bet you didn't think you were going to find out about all the plastic surgery in Czech Republic revolving around vaginas. All right. Now, here's a couple of interesting things. First, how the doctors got started, right?
Right. So the doctors in the Czech Republic actually got started by a female sex worker who came into a plastic surgeon's office, and she was holding a picture of a porn star's vagina, and she said, "Here, I want my vagina to look like this vagina."
Okay. See, that gets to one of the interesting parts in the story. And then slowly this starts to take off. First, the doctor was doing 2 surgeries. Next thing you know, it's up to 100 surgeries.
Right. Well, most of the 70 plastic surgeons in the Czech Republic now perform this type of plastic surgery.
And when the first guy started doing it, they're like, oh, crazy Boris. I don't know if people in the Czech Republic are named Boris. But anyway, you see my point. He's doing vagina surgery. That's crazy. No idea if they speak like that. I'm pretty sure they don't. Okay, anyway. So next thing you know, they're like, lots of money in vagina surgery. We get into it. It's a great racket. All of a sudden, they're Arabic. Anyway, so now what's interesting about it is they're obsessed about it because of porn. And they see what that looks like over there, and they think, oh, I guess my vagina is supposed to look like that. But the doctors don't know what a pretty vagina is supposed to look like. So when they go to do the surgery, they're like, I don't know. How should it look? Right? And that goes to show you so much about our whole worldwide culture. Okay? And of course, it's not just happening in the Czech Republic. This is just an interesting story revolving around that country, but it's happening all across the world.
Yeah, and especially, of course, in the United States.
Of course, right? And so what it shows is, we got to be prettier. Every part of our body has to be reconstructed. I don't even know what pretty is. I don't know what it's supposed to look like down there, but I know I'm not right, and I know I need it fixed.
Right.
And I need it fixed, and I need to look like somebody on camera. And I see the girl in the porn, so make it look like hers. One of the doctors hired an artist to draw him a pretty pussy.
No,
Literally.
not just a pretty vagina, okay?
Okay.
This artist made a book of different vaginas and how each one could be beautiful. So a woman who is looking for vagina plastic surgery can go to the doctor's office, flip through the pages, and decide which vagina she would like hers to look like. In fact, the last quote in this story is, most women like numbers 59 and 78. They're the most popular by far. That's amazing.
And what I'm amazed by is that they came to somewhat of a conclusion, like, 59. That's a pretty vag.
That's amazing to me.
And what I'm also amazed by is that we don't have a general conclusion on that. Like, we have a general sense of what attractive breast looks like, but I don't think we've had this conversation before.
No, let's please not. Okay? Like, look.
I'm right there with you. I'm just saying it's a fascinating phenomenon that the universe has not decided what is recognized as, hey, that's pretty in that part of the world or area or body.
Now, look, the reason why I don't want to have that conversation is not because it grosses me out. I don't want to have that conversation because I feel like the vagina is the last thing that's left for women to not feel insecure about. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we're insecure about our bodies, our noses, our hair, our eyes, our wrinkles, everything. Our breasts, of course. We're totally insecure about ass, everything. Every single inch of our body. Just leave our vaginas alone. Okay?
This is Anna's Leave Our Vaginas Alone campaign. Okay.
I don't want to be stressed out about whether or not I have an attractive vagina. All right?
Okay. But that's the amazing part. They already are.
Right.
All these women across the world are like, oh, is it pretty enough? It's mental. It's fine.
And here's another thing.
And here's another thing. Guys don't care.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. You think a guy is gonna like go down there and be like, your vagina doesn't look designer enough for me. Sorry.
Sorry. Until you get it reconstructed, I'm not coming back.
Right.
No. Look, he's just happy he got an entrance pass. Okay. He's not worried about that labia looks a little crooked. I'd get some work done on that labia. Man, we've driven ourselves insane. Okay? The world has gone mad. And this is an excellent evidence of it. Stop it, okay? Leave the vaginas alone.
Exactly.
In some ways. Okay. All right.
All right. Break or another story?
We aim to entertain and inform on this program. Another story.
All right. Prostitutes in Spain are now forced to wear reflective vests for their own safety.
Because otherwise we couldn't tell where they are. Doesn't that help out the clients? They're like, is she? Isn't she? Remember we had that conversation in Denver?
Yes, and that was a difficult conversation. If you don't know whether or not a woman's a prostitute, that could lead to very questionable happenings.
Yes, it could lead to uncomfortable situations.
Right.
Remember Ben told that story of the friend, his friend, no, seriously, his friend, who didn't know until they got upstairs, and she's like, oh, by the way, I'm working, right? He's like, sick to what?
Yeah.
Now, if she had to wear an orange vest, well,
then we know.
It
no,
makes
but
everybody's life simpler.
This is ridiculous, though. Like, oh, they need to wear the reflective vest for their own safety. It has nothing to do with that. It's so, this small part of Spain can kick all the prostitutes out, because no prostitute wants to wear a reflective vest. That's ridiculous.
Now, to be fair, the authorities say that they were asking them to do that because they're working at night and they're working by the side of the road. So it presents a danger for them.
Right, but I would like to see the statistics as to how many prostitutes get hit by a car in Spain. Okay, show me the statistics and then I'll buy this whole argument.
Excellent point. Okay, my guess is not a lot of prostitutes got run over.
Right.
And my guess is that the people driving by there drive by rather slow. I'm just guessing. Okay. And of course, the prostitutes are against this. By the way, the Prime Minister of Spain came in guns blazing and said, you know what? I'm going to make sure there are no more ads for prostitutes in the newspapers. Total and utter failure. Yeah. They're like, ads are still all over the newspapers. He couldn't get them out because it turns out, according to another survey, 1 in 4 men in Spain frequent prostitutes.
That's amazing.
That's a big number, man.
I'd like to know what the number is in the U.S. It might be close to that.
I don't know. It's harder in the U.S. because we don't have the vest to be able to pick them out.
Right, exactly.
So we get a little bit more confused. All right, now we'll take the break. We'll come right back. All right, back on the Young Turks. So during the break, we were having a slight discussion about the crazy stories we're doing. And we were wondering if there's another show in the country that's going to do a story on vagina reconstruction in the Czech Republic. But here's what I can guarantee you. That would also not be the same show that interviews Noam Chomsky.
Right, right. Seriously, though.
Well, we have fun on this show. By the way, if you're watching live, Noam Chomsky coming up. And one of the questions, of course, is, will I make an ass of myself? I think there's a decent chance. There's a decent chance. And yeah, all right. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Everybody calm down. Furthermore, let me thank a couple of members for you guys. Let's go with Leslie Thurman, member number 1791, joined up on July 13th of 2009. And let us go randomly here with Ninja Belly Dancer, apparently member number 2010, Natalie Garner. Huh. Natalie, you joined up in 2007, but must have lost your spot. Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We love you. We love you. All right. Members only post game. More fascinating discussion. Miami at 7. Go.
All right. Before we get to the next story, I received a tweet and I had to address it now before I forgot.
She has to.
All right. This tweet comes from Max Mare. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this person tweeted to me, "You should not have to research medical information that takes doctors years to master. You have to do your research if you live in a capitalistic country." Okay. No, you do, though. You do. People are out to make money. So you have to be an advocate for yourself. I'm not saying that you need to learn how to do, like, heart surgery. I'm saying just make sure you know the side effects to the medicine doctors want to prescribe to you. Know the risks. That's it.
That message brought to you by Anna Chomskyan. Okay. All right. Oh, by the way, bringing a kid to your vacation, disaster or not disaster? Addressed in the post game for members only. Fascinating. Okay, go.
All right, we got the Snuggie Sutra for you guys.
Okay, great.
All right, so great. So for those of you who don't know what the Snuggie is, it's basically a robe that you wear backwards, and a company has made a massive amount of money marketing this.
Okay,
so,
by the way, if you don't know what a Snuggie is, what, you've been living in a box?
All right.
Okay, get out of your cave. Okay, welcome to the rest of the world. I think even in caves in Kandahar they know what a Snuggie is. They're like, oh yes, that one on American television.
Right.
Looks very comfortable.
Right. So
a little cheesy though.
So 2 Americans, one named Lex Friedman and another named Megan Morrison, created something known as the Snuggie Sutra. And what that is a guide that gives you a series of different sex positions that can be performed while wearing a Snuggie.
What are they doing there? I see 2 of their hands, but I don't see the other 2. And that to me looks like a little fox. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
There I know what's happening. Okay, that's a Snuggie Sutra, and they're going to work there.
They are.
Okay, I believe the arms are supposed to come out of there, but they've decided they could put the legs out as well.
Right, the legs are going through it. Now, okay, go back to that, Andrew, because I want to... How is that fun, though? Because don't you want to see what's going on? You don't want your woman covered.
Depends on what she looks like.
Oh.
That's wrong. And it also depends on what he looks like. I mean, you might want him under a Snuggie as well.
Right.
Okay. Now, having said that, look, I'm not into the sutras. You know, Kama Sutra, God bless him, right? And the Bhagavad Gita blessed him, okay? Having said that, I don't need to get contorted. We've had this discussion before. I don't need my arm over here and my left ear over there. My left ear, see, I don't know how to get it over there, right? I just want to have sex, damn it. Okay? And you know what? I want to be relatively comfortable because I want to enjoy it. I don't want to be thinking about like, oh, my back, oh, geez, oh, it just pulled a hammer, like it's supposed to be fun.
Right.
And I got the Snuggie wrapped up around me, and my legs coming out of there, my arms coming out of there. No interest.
Right.
And by the way, how nasty is that Snuggie going to be afterwards? And some poor unsuspecting son of a bitch is going to walk in, not know what happened in that Snuggie. He'll be like, oh, Snuggie, let's watch some TV. He'll put it on, watch some Jersey Shore, come to find out.
Somebody must have spilled a little water. It's a little
Oh,
wet.
just stop it. Stop it. Look at that poor son of a bitch over there right there now.
I already think this is a gimmick, but still, come on, dude. It's like having sex between the sheets anyway. It's just a small blanket. Big deal.
Yeah, but it's got 2 holes in it. Think about it. What can you do with those holes?
I mean, it's like saying, oh, my God, I had sex in my bed, not to do my laundry. Yeah, fucking clean it. Whatever. Fine.
No, but that's a good point. That's true.
Well, I hear you on that.
But no one's going to wear your bed. You see what? No one's going to mistakenly like stumble upon your bed and sleep in it.
Yeah. Look, this reminds me of Naked Twister. Like, it was, oh, Naked Twister. No, not interested in Naked Twister. Okay, first of all, we're naked. Second of all, it's Twister. Okay? But most importantly, third of all, if there are other dudes involved, I am out, okay? Outie, 5,000.
Have you ever been to a party where someone proposed naked?
I was just going to say, has anyone ever played Naked Twister?
Yeah.
No.
No one in the world has ever played Naked Twister.
No. I hear they did it in the 1970s. You know, they were wild back then. They were wild cats, okay? Now, of course, we didn't do it. Are you kidding me? We didn't. I was such a dork. We didn't even play spin the bottle. Like if we kissed a girl, we're like, Naked Twister. We played actual Twister. That's how much of dorks we were. Okay, but like back in the day when they theoretically played Naked Twister, though. Okay, so you got the girls and stuff, but there's other dudes, and next thing you know. No, I'm playing that. That's crazy, dog. And I'm not buying the Snuggie Sutra either. Are you buying it?
I would try it.
Oh, really?
I'm open-minded.
Huh, interesting.
Look, I like having fun. Like
Anna has always been known for having fun. That's true. You're on the record as pro-fun.
Right. Like if someone proposed it, I wouldn't be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, okay, sure, let's do it.
Here's how I view that. Like, so when sometimes women propose uncomfortable sex, okay, I'm like, well, it's sex.
Right.
So I'm going to try it, but that bed is really fucking comfortable.
Right.
Like, if we could just get in the bed, it'd be 10 times better.
You have a point, but I have a different way of looking at it. My point is, like, let's say I'm in a long-term relationship, right? I'm gonna have sex with the same goddamn person forever. Like, let's do different things. No, but that's not just me. That's everyone. Everyone reaches that point where they're like, oh, okay, I know. You want to do it this way. You want to do it that way. No, let's do something different.
All right. Anna's into it. Anna's into Snuggie Sutra or whatever. All right. Were you guys gonna pull something out of your hat? You got it or
do
no?
it.
This is why we should get this book. The Snuggie Sutra positions, some of them, I can't tell from just the Matador. I think that one is.
Oh, the Matador. I see. Oh, it is a psych. I get it.
This one is the Magic Carpet.
I don't get it.
I'll read. Go back to Magic Carpet, Andrew. When you sweep her off her feet, she'll learn that if she rubs your special lamp just right, it will make her a whole new world. It'll take her to a whole new world.
Oh, that's wrong. Okay, first of all, I thought with this sweep off the feet, what's he gonna do? Like pull the carpet out, pull the Snuggie out from underneath her? She's like, oh my head.
Wait.
Because we have to make sure we clarify. Of course, the pink was the girl and the blue was the guy.
Oh, no wonder. Okay, because I can't see colors on the monitor here.
It's true. Okay, so the pink one was on it, on the standing up.
So to me, it looked like the one standing was the guy, and it looked like he was going to pee on her. And I was like,
yeah!
That's called the R. Kelly.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Wow.
No, but I think the pulling the thing out is even worse. Okay, what?
This one is the parachute. Of course, the one that's above is the pink the pink person. The eager anticipation, the rush of adrenaline, the thrill you feel at the end. Sure, it's a risk, but it's worth it.
Oh, I thought I thought they were laying one next to one another. Go back to that one.
Oh, what's this one?
Okay, hold up. That one's group, so that's interesting. This one, I thought they were laying next to one another, and that she had blown a fart or something. And that's why the Snuggie had blown up. I was like, man, this is getting worse and worse every day. Okay, as it is, she's jumping, and he doesn't look like he's interested. He's protecting himself. You see that? He's like, oh no, not again.
Oh my
okay,
God.
so now this one, yeah.
This one's the Noah's Ark.
That's hilarious.
This is the summer shower. I'm not sure. We'll like with that.
So it turns
The relief
gold.
well. Not sure. The sniper team.
What is? Wait. Go back to sniper team for a second.
She lies on her belly. She wears the Snuggie on his. He wears the Snuggie on his back and covers her. She calls the shot, and he takes aim and fires.
Come on. It's awesome.
The Mel Gibson. She faces him, mouth open and ready. He gets to wear the Snuggie because he effing deserves it. It's better if he keeps his mouth shut.
Because he effing deserves it.
It's a great book, man.
Jeez, this one's getting serious.
Here, let's go down. That one is The Pitched Tent, I think, right? Oh, yeah. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory.
This one seems like
The surprise guest. This one's the surprise guest. He wears the Snuggie around his calves and drapes the remainder on the floor. Keep her knees comfortable while she's on your hardwood. All right. That's the banana split. And this is the papoose.
What is that? The schmoopy papoopy?
This one is the night in.
That's hilarious. He's like reading a book. Oh no, she's reading a book.
Right. Well, at least she's getting service on that one. Finally, a little fairness. Okay, look, one more thing in the post game. Should you talk to your dad about sex?
I think Steve-O should come in and talk to us about this.
He's not going to be around.
Ah, disaster. Okay.
All right. Everything's going to be all right. Post-game show. Should you talk to your dad about sex? Crazy Miami stories. And our theories on why you might get sick. Okay, lots of fun things. Go. Come.